Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yesterday, this channel hit 3,000 subscribers, which is just 50 shades of grey. So thank you very much for continuing to validate my existence. I appreciate that a lot. So for today's video, loads of you said that you wanted to see more storytime style videos, and I thought that it would be quite fun to share some tales from the chaos that was my old school bus. So as some background kind of information, I went to an all-boys secondary school, and my house where I live is the first stop on the bus route. So in the mornings it would pick us up first, and in the afternoons it would drop us off last. As a result, I spent a lot of time on the bus. And as you may or may not know, British people generally tend to have quite a strained relationship with public transport. Put it this way, if it was a Facebook relationship status, it would be, it's complicated. British public transport is also kind of universally renowned as being particularly unreliable, and my school bus was no exception. Particularly Wednesdays, I remember. I don't know what my school bus driver had going on a Wednesday morning, but he just quite often just didn't bother to pick us up. But when the school bus did bother to actually pick us up, it was just nuts. Like, crazy. Crazy featuring Beyonce. I distinctly remember one afternoon after school, we all got onto this bus, and as the bus set off, the year 11s started to ring all of the bells. So you know how on a bus, the basically by every seat there's like a bell, so you can ring it to say, I would like to depart the bus at the next stop. Those bells. So we'd only just left school and there was about 15 minutes before we actually got to the first stop, but people were just ringing and ringing the bells repeatedly. So if you can imagine a whole double-decker bus full of people all ringing the bells constantly, imagine the noise going on in the bus driver's ears. So people just kept ringing the bells constantly. So this noise was obviously going off in his ears, and the bus driver was screaming like, stop ringing the bells, stop ringing the bells, blah, blah, blah. I'll turn this bus around. So he got to the first roundabout after my school and just swung the bus round, and we went all the way back to school. So he parks up back outside our school, and walks down the aisle, and he's like shouting at everyone like, don't you dare ring that bell again, don't you dare ring that bell again until we get to your stop. So anyway, everyone's like, yeah, sorry, we'll stop that now, like, yeah, it's all good, yeah, we'll stop, cool, sorry. So anyway, he gets back in the bus, he turns the bus back around, and we begin to go back on our journey home. After about 2 minutes of silence, one person rings the bell again, and then there's just a symphony of bells ringing everywhere. And so, again, the bus driver swings the bus around at the nearest roundabout and took us back to school. This time he marched into our school and got the deputy head teacher to get on the bus and basically just yell at us and tell us to stop ringing the bells constantly. So once more, everyone nods their heads and goes, yes, very sorry, like, we won't do it again. This time I'd say it was probably about 5 or 10 minutes before, again, there was just a cacophony of bells ringing everywhere. And this time, the bus driver just flipped. Before the first stop, he just stopped the bus, slammed on the brakes, parked by the side of the road, and just screamed everybody out. So we all just filed off the bus and had to walk home. And we never saw that bus driver again. So, sorry, mate. I hope he's alright. I'd just like to say that I didn't start this, and I'm pretty sure on like the second and third bus journeys I was not the one ringing the bell, but it was really, really funny. If you can imagine, like, everyone was cheering and like ringing the bells to like the tune of different songs. It was hilarious. Although we may or may not have been the cause of this bus driver's emotional breakdown. So, as I mentioned before, we used to get a double-decker bus. For a while, for a good like month or so, there became this kind of challenge to see if we could topple the bus. I think someone must have read this news article that said that you cannot topple a double-decker bus. Like, they're made so that you can't tip it over. And we thought, challenge accepted. So basically what people used to do was, on the top deck of the bus, everyone would go and stand at one end of the bus. After the count of 3, everyone would run from one side of the bus to the other. And so the bus was like shaking, and kind of looking like it was going to tip one way or the other. It was so scary. And it was kind of a situation where if you didn't get involved, you would be trampled, so you just had no choice. I remember being so scared that the bus was going to tip over. I don't know what we were expecting. Like, if the bus did tip over, we would just die. But nonetheless, people continued to run from one side of the bus to the other, and this became like a daily occurrence. If you were sitting on the lower deck, you could feel it happening above you. Needless to say, the bus never actually tipped over. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be here to tell the tale. Another thing that used to happen on our bus was food fights. So people in the morning used to get their sandwiches and throw them from one side of the bus to the other. Personally, I did not get involved in this because I was not going to sacrifice my precious sandwiches for nobody. They were mine. But anyway, people used to throw sandwiches from one side of the bus to the other and try and aim for different people. Like, it was mostly between friends. It was a friendly kind of thing, as friendly as a food fight can be. But I just really clearly remember this one time, someone at the front of the bus was like, "Heads up," and threw this ham sandwich from the front of the bus to the back. And the reason I know that it was a ham sandwich is because while in mid-air, the sandwich was flying above my head and the piece of ham slipped from the bread and hit me right in the face. And I was wearing my glasses, so the piece of ham kind of like got lodged in between the lens and my eye, so I couldn't get the piece of ham out. It was so embarrassing. I was just sitting there on the bus with this piece of ham like hanging from my face. So those were a few tales from my old school bus. I hope you enjoyed hearing about them. I'd like to take this opportunity to formally apologise to all of the bus drivers who got stuck with our bus over the years. Sorry about your sanity. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for more. I make new YouTube videos every Monday and new blog posts mostly every Thursday. Also, leave a comment telling me what your school bus was like, whether it was as chaotic as mine or whether you all just sat there peacefully. So once again, thank you very much for watching this video. Have a lovely day and I will see you next time. Bye bye.